been some discussion with USA basketball about beating the Dream Team. Well, you know what? I'm not going to badmouth that team. But I did laugh at a couple things. Kobe Bryant called us old. First of all, Kobe Bryant is 33 years old. At the time, our Dream Team, me and Michael Jordan were only 29. So I had to laugh that an old guy would call young guys old. But I have no problem with Kobe. You got to have great pride and confidence to be as great as he is. But they're just too little for us. I think people forget. Listen, Kobe and LeBron are fantastic. But David Robinson and Patrick Ewing would dominate them down low. And that team is very good. I wish them the best of luck in the Olympics in London. But, it's not going to be easy because, like I say, they got to worry about Spain and Argentina. Those big Gasol boys for Spain, Mark and Powell, they're going to be tough for the United States to deal with. So I really think they are going to win the gold medal, but it's not. Trying to get better, so taking all these lessons from all these. I broke 80 all the time, America, before I developed this thing.
Let me say this firsthand. We played in Dayton, Ohio.
Yes.
You shot a 79, and I shot an 80 or 81. Charles beat me fair and square, and you had great touch. You played well. There was no hitch to your swing. There was no nothing. You played very good golf that day.
So I started taking all these lessons. And they're like, the only thing, you need to pause. He said, when you slow the pros down, they have a slight little pause at the top. And I'm like, okay. And I started working on that. And now I can't get rid of it. And it drives me, it don't drive me that crazy. I mean, there's worse things in life than sucking at golf. I mean, as long as I get to drink and smoke a couple cigars, I'm good.
Yeah, but you were good.
I was. But that was a long time ago, Dan.
I know, but you got to that point where now you can get better. You maybe get down and shoot a 75, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I know, but I should have been happy breaking 80.
Yes, you should have.
because back in the day, it was going to be between 78 and 83, 84, 85. I was never going to shoot worse than that. And I didn't understand the theory of life where you can only be good at one thing. And my one thing was basketball. And then I tried to get good at golf, and then God punished me. And now, you can only be good at one thing in life.
Did you play Jordan for money at all?
Oh, you used to play for him all the time. Why would you play golf if you don't play it for money?
Well, Mike won't play unless it's for money, right?
No question.
But how much? Now, how many strokes did you get, first of all? Because Jordan is, what, a 4?
Back when I was a good player, I think I only got like a couple of sides.
Okay, so you get 2 aside, and he's a 4 in your name.
Yeah, and when I could play, it was pretty much even. But I tell you what, I've never been under more pressure, and I apologize to Michael for saying this. So we'd be playing golf with certain people, and we'd be playing a couple $100 a hole, nothing but. And then he'd be playing some guy for like $100,000. He's like, Charles, pick that up. I'm like, just put this for $200. He's like, pick that up, Charles. Get out of my way. You're in my line. I said, well, how much is that put for? He's like, $300,000. I said, let me get out of your line. Hey, you like, seriously, it was crazy, man. They were paying for like hundreds of thousands of dollars. It was crazy.
But does he have to have that much? I mean, he's so competitive that if you're playing for a couple of hundred, that's
chump change, we call it in the hood.
Yeah.
I never understood why they were playing for that much. I mean, because, and first of all, let's be realistic. He got so much money, a couple $100,000 ain't a lot to him.
But even if you're playing blackjack or whatever you're doing, it feels like, hey, we're only going to be playing for 10 grand a hand.
Yeah.
Well, that's not enough.
I think I developed that problem a few years ago where when I went to Vegas, I won $1 million. I probably won $1 million 5 times. But I probably lost $1 million 25 times. So I developed this I developed this thing where I had to win $1 million. So I quit gambling for like 2 years, and I was talking to my close friends. I said, man, I sure miss gambling. They said, well, you should gamble. You just shouldn't be an idiot. And I said, and my friends have carte blanche to tell me in it honestly, because the key to being successful, you have to have a good people around you. And my friend says, dude, you're just an idiot when you gamble. Like, you'll be up $600,000, and we're like, Charles, quit. Let's go have fun. And you're like, no, I got to get to $1 million. And then you lose that 600, and then you lose your credit.
So they said, so now when I go gamble, I just go to have fun.
We'll have more with Charles Barkley coming up next hour, and we'll try to make room for more of your phone calls as well. Got our poll question, 877-3DP Show, our Twitter handle at DP Show. More with Charles Barkley right after this on the Dan Patrick Show. Hall of Famer, Turner Sports, NBA, and NCAA analyst. 4 games tonight, 4 games tomorrow. More with Sir Charles coming up in a moment.
There's some hard games tonight.
Why?
That Michigan game, I got no idea who. Like, that's the beauty of this tournament. Like, I got an idea maybe in the other game, but the Michigan game, I've been studying that game since Sunday, and I got no idea who's going to win.
Well, it's. I think Michigan is a 1-point underdog, so it's a toss-up. But trying to figure out Michigan, they've been on this mission here. They played well.
Oh, stop it!
They have. They played well at the end of the year. They won the Big Ten tournament, so they've been on a little bit more of a roll. They weren't a great team during the regular season.
Yeah, but I'm sick of people talking about. First of all, I think that coach is terrific.
John Beeline.
He's terrific.
Yeah.
And the point guard, Walden Jr., is terrific. But I want them to get the credit. I don't want to hear any more when they had the plane crash. They feel no pressure because their life flashed before their eyes. That's total BS. The guy's a great coach, and the kids are playing great. I'm watching television. They're like, well, these guys feel no pressure because, their life flashed before their eyes. I'm like, you have to think they're thinking about the plane crash in the middle of the Louisville.
Was that your
game?
white guy impersonation there? It felt like a white guy impersonation there.
No, that's one of those talking heads on television who act like he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, it's disrespectful to Coach Beeline and Walton and the rest of those guys to act. They just playing great. And the one thing I hate,
they got no pressure on them because right now they're playing with house money.
They're playing with house money. That's it. I forgot house money.
They nearly died.
Yes. So they got a second chance in life, and they're feeling nothing.
4 games coming up tonight on is it Turner and CBS or is it just CBS?
It's on CBS and CBS and TBS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And TBS. Okay. Trying to keep track of it. Charles Barkley.
Me too.
Us. Yeah, I know you are.
Like when the first 2 days of this tournament, we're on 4 networks, and I feel so bad for Greg Gumbel and Ernie. They're like, "What network are we on?" And they're like, "Dude," and I never worry. Like, dude, it doesn't matter if you get one wrong. You got 4 games going on the time. If you screw up every now and then, but Greg and Ernie are so great. Let's do relax. Nobody cares if you say, "Hey, we're on TBS." No, we're on TNT. I mean, no, it doesn't matter.
How many scholarships did you have coming out of high school?
Very few, because I think people who know my story knew I grew from 5'10" to 6'5" in 1 year. Because I didn't even get any offers until I was a senior. Because between my junior year and senior year, I grew from 5'10" to 6'5". And then, because most of the offers are already off the table. And I was going to go. I made the best decision ever going to Auburn.
Where else were you going to go? What school lost out?
Well, my first choice, obviously I'm very close to my mother and grandmother. My first choice was UAB, Gene Bartow. Because Birmingham is only like 20 minutes from my house.
Oh, wow.
But they made it to the Sweet 16 and had everybody coming back.
And that's the reason why you didn't go to UAB?
Yes. Wow. And
isn't that crazy?
It is.
Your life may have changed.
But it was a great
different.
But I'll tell you, man, and everybody said this, once you go to Auburn, it's like and we have an inferiority complex because the greatest football coach in history is over in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
And so we have an inferiority complex against Alabama. Because I think Nick Saban's the greatest college football coach ever, in my opinion. But Auburn is the greatest school because once you go there, you're part of a family, a fraternity. And even when I go back now, it's just the most amazing thing. When I travel the country, travel the world, we say, "Warrior, go to each other." It's pretty special.
But don't you say it after everything?
No.
Yeah, Paulie, we were down at Auburn when Cam Newton was coming back to play in a game
against Georgia. Mm-hmm.
And somebody says, "Hey, can I get a beer, War Eagle?" Like it was like everything.
It's like I love you.
Is that what it is?
That's what War Eagle's like. I love. No, and I mean, and every college is different, but I think it just means so much. Like Auburn's like a family, to be honest with you.
So you almost went to UAB.
Yeah.
Wow. And then you go to
Gene Bartow was great, but I got lucky because I made the best decision going to Auburn. It's the greatest decision I've ever made in my life.
We were talking about this during the commercial break. How many times you hosted Saturday Night Live?
3.
Okay. And so who was the musical group all 3 times? Do you remember?
Nirvana
was one.
Was one. Alicia Keys was one. And I can't remember the third, but I'll tell you this funny story about Nirvana. If you ever been to Saturday Night Live, the dressing rooms are like less than 5, like probably 3 feet apart. Like as far as you can open your arms, that's how close the dressing rooms are. And I didn't know anything about Nirvana. First of all, they were fantastic. All the guys were nice, and I think Courtney was there also. But so I had people coming in and out, my friends, so I kept my dressing room open. Every time those guys from Nirvana opened their door, I got like a contact high. It was like one of those big mushroom clouds came. Like I was scared to go to the airport because I didn't want to sit out. Like, thank God I'm just driving. No, I do not go near the airport. But every time they opened up first of all, they were really nice. Did
they know who you were?
I don't know. I don't think.
Kurt Cobain doesn't strike me as somebody who would have known who you are. Dave Grohl was not a big sports fan.
But they were great. They were really nice. But every time they opened that door, that big mushroom cloud, and I'm not a pot guy. I've only smoked pot like 3 times, 5 times in my life, and all it did was make me want to eat potato chips.
Did you smoke in college?
I did not. I smoked in the pros. I got a couple of teammates like, dude, try this. I'm like, all right, let me try it. And I didn't get no peace. I didn't make me. All I wanted was potato chips.
But you would eat those anyway.
No, but I'm telling you, pot gave me the munchies.
Do you understand these guys who would smoke at halftime or prior to a game?
You know, when I got to the NBA, guys would smoke at halftime, or they'd have a beer at halftime, and I'd be like, what the hell?
And they smoking pot at halftime?
No, they were smoking cigarettes.
Cigarettes. And then drinking beer. Drinking a beer.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, goodness gracious. But it was, things have changed.
But I remember going, I was with John Barry, and we were at covering this for the mothership, and walking by a player prior to a game.
Yeah.
And it was just, pot was, he was smoking before he got to the game.
Yeah.
I don't
I never understood that. There was this one guy I played with in college. We tried to do an intervention because he smoked pot all the time. And he was one of the best shooters I've ever played with in my life. So, coaches,
you're kind of narrowing it down to who this guy is.
No, you wouldn't know him. He never played in the NBA, but he was a wonderful person. But he smoked pot relentlessly. And coach says, I want you guys to do an intervention. We're like, okay. So the guy says, okay, I'll start smoking pot. Guy couldn't make a shot. So we go back to the coach. We said, Coach, we need him to start smoking pot again. This guy could not make a shot off a pot. It was hilarious. The guys, I'm not even exaggerating, Dan. The guy was one of the best shooters I've ever seen in my life. But when he stopped smoking pot, we went back to the coach. The coach came to us and stopped to get him to smoke pot. We're like, Coach, he needs pot. This guy cannot make a shot without pot. It was hilarious.
Maybe the Knicks need to smoke pot.
I don't even think pot could help them.
We have a poll question.
Okay.
McLevin, you want to give Charles the poll question?
Whose career would you want? Christian Laettner, great in college, okay in the pros, or Manu Ginobili?
Okay, now don't answer it yet. This is called a tease in the business.
Okay.
All right, so would you rather have Christian Laettner's basketball career or Manu Ginobili's basketball career? Okay.
First of all, I love Christian Laettner, but that's not even a contest.
Oh, well, there goes the tease. All right.
That's not even a contest, Dan.
Okay, all right. So, stupid question. Better yet, when we come back, we'll see if Charles and Lonzo Ball and his dad, everybody's playing nice here. LeVar Ball. Now, that's a tease.
Okay, Dan. I'll wait till we come back.
Okay. We'll talk to Charles about his new best friend who he wants to play one-on-one, LeVar Ball. Coming up on 16 after the hour, this is the Dan Patrick Show. That was an awkward moment there during
I like that, though.
the live look-in. What year was it that you stole something out of Barkley's Mercedes, McLevin?
I want to say 88.
It could have been.
Yeah. Charles lived near me in Lower Merion, Pennsylvania.
And you went to the driving range. Charles was at the driving range.
Yeah, you remember the City Line driving range?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Charles was there often, and I walked by and I was a huge fan. And I don't steal anything. I've never stolen anything in my life. That was the only one, and I'm so sorry.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
okay.
Didn't you steal something out of Michael Jordan's car?
Hey, let me tell you something.
Kobe Bryant's car?
That's why a lot of people in prison, you don't just steal one time. You steal until you get caught. Nobody steals one time and gets away with it and stops stealing. That's why all these people in prison.
But Charles, you had the guy who stole Tom Brady's jersey in the previous Super Bowl when they beat Seattle, and then doubles down to steal his jersey in Houston.
Well, because that's my point.
Yeah.
First of all, why did they make a big deal out of the first time he stole the jersey?
I don't know what happened with Brady, that he didn't know that it was there, that it was gone. But he knew that jersey was gone
immediately,
right away.
Yeah.
And that was different. But I don't know where Brady goes.
And see, that's my point, though. That ain't the first time he stole anything.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't stop then. My man has been, they say he stole Von Miller's too, I think.
Oh, yeah, he stole his
So
helmet.
you keep stealing until you get caught.
All right, so the poll question you don't like at all, you would take Manu Ginobili's career over Christian Laettner.
Well, Christian Laettner is arguably one of the 5 to 10 greatest college basketball players ever. I mean, what he did at Duke, I mean, it's just amazing. But Ginobili, number one, you got to factor in he's won all the championship with the Spurs, and his leading Argentina to the gold medal a couple times. You have to factor that in.
But Leitner's one of the great, Ginobili is he's a good player on great teams.
Yes.
Laettner is one of the great college players of all time.
Yes, he is. Like I'm saying, I think Christian Laettner should be, if he's not already, in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the college basketball, but not the Basketball Hall of Fame.
And actually, the only problem he had in the pros, he really doesn't have a position. A lot of guys what I think people don't understand, there are a lot of guys who are great college players, but don't have a position. Christian is like a 3-4 combo. He's not really quick enough to play the 3, and he's not big and powerful enough to play the 4 position. He'd actually be great in today's game when all these guys are shooting threes. But first of all, I love Christian. He was great on the Dream Team.
Did you guys haze him?
A little bit. You got to haze people. I'm a big believer. When I say hazing, I don't mean some of the stuff I see out these crazy high school kids.
Yeah.
Stuff. Like, even back in the day, Dr. J and Moses Malone, they had me. You walked to the airport with 12 bags on your neck. Andrew Toney had to take him warm milk. Like I had to take them guys newspapers first thing in the morning, like 7 o'clock. I'm like, dude, I'm not up at 7. Well, you up now? They were great.
This is your rookie season?
This is my rookie season. I had to take them newspaper like 7 o'clock in the morning. I had to get out of bed to take them guys newspaper. It really pissed me off.
You weren't there with the fight between Bird and Dr. J.
I was.
Oh, you were.
And I really, to this day, I won't ever forgive the NBA for fining me because they fined me because they said I was holding Larry Bird so Dr. J could hit him.
Oh, that's right.
Which was, I was trying to break the fight up.
But it looks like you got Bird and you're holding him.
I'm trying to. I thought somebody had Doc. I didn't know Doc was punching Bird when I was holding him.
Did Bird ever bring that up to you?
No, he didn't, and no, and
even during the Dream Team.
No, because I think he noticed. It wasn't like I was hitting Bird. I was just trying to break the fight up. I didn't know Doc was throwing blows at him. The NBA fined me. It really made me mad. They owe me money to this day.
How much do you think you paid in fines?
$300,000.
Oh,
probably somewhere in that.
Oh. I like that. But that, Jordan will lose that in a putt. All right. So where are we with the LeVar Ball relationship now?
Oh, his dad.
It's dead.
His dad is won't let his son enjoy his glory because I think his kid is special. He's terrific. I do. I think his kid. I tell you what though. I said last week that I probably would take him number 1 in the draft. But that kid at Kansas, Josh
Jackson.
Ooh, man. I was talking to Clark Kellogg, because Clark obviously knows more college basketball than I do. I said, Clark, how good is this Jackson kid? He says, he's the best two-way player because I had said previous that week, I said if I had the number 1 pick, I might take Ball. And I said so now I'm watching like the whole game, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I might take Josh first, but he's terrific. But Mr. Ball, first of all, I think he's harmless. If he had a Charles Barkley mentality, maybe he would have averaged 10 points a game at Washington State instead of that whole 2. Listen, I wish he let his son enjoy this ride. I mean, he's only going to be in college for 1 year.
Yeah.
We should be talking about his son. What a great job, Steve.
But don't you think he's doing what he set out to do, and that's create a brand?
He has no brand.
Well, but he's trying to create a brand.
Dan, you either have a brand or you don't. The brand's going to be his son.
Yeah.
You can't talk yourself into having a brand.
Well, the Kardashians did.
That's a unique situation.
Yeah, but this is what he's trying to do. This is the goal: create a basketball Kardashian brand.
No, his son is going to be one of the top 2 or 3 players in the draft. He's going to get a big shoe deal. That's going to be the brand. This thing he wears, this 3 big ballers.
Big baller, yeah.
That's not a brand. Nobody buying stuff because he's wearing it.
But I don't know why are people going to buy Lonzo Ball shoes?
Well, there's not many guys. First of all,
I mean, who's buying shoes? It's still Jordan is selling shoes, and he hadn't played in.
Yeah, it's not many guys. Listen, he's gonna get a big deal.
Like John Wall is a great player.
Yes,
nobody's buying John Wall shoes.
Dude, very few guys can sell shoes.
Right?
Yeah. I mean,
who else sells shoes?
I'm pretty sure LeBron is selling shoes.
LeBron,
KD,
Steph Curry. He's trying to.
I don't know enough about Under Armour.
He's trying to.
Steph is a terrific guy and a terrific player, but I don't know how that market is going.
Yeah, I just don't know.
They probably would help them. They quit making them look like hospital shoes.
No, those were good shoes. Those were like orthotics or something.
But I will tell people this: if you want to be, and obviously I'm biased, I think Under Armour is a terrific company. Kevin's done a fabulous job. But if you go back and look at history, the guys who had the most success selling shoes and branding is Nike.
Yeah.
I would recommend any player, and like I say, Under Armour is a terrific company. I wish them nothing but the best. Kevin has done an amazing job. But if you actually look at from a business standpoint, nobody has done shoes better than Nike. And I've been with the NBA for 30 years. Nobody has done shoes better than Nike. I would recommend, if a kid asks me, even if you take less money, you're going to make the money up. If you're going to be a global brand shoe-wise, clothing-wise, you should go with Nike.
Who would have fared better or fared worse back when you played? If I look at Harden and Westbrook, Steph Curry, Durant. I'll throw in LeBron, but LeBron is so. I mean, he would have.
LeBron is so great.
It wouldn't have mattered what generation that he was in, right?
No, because he is.
Although you guys would have roughed him up, knowing that he's a little sensitive to that. You know, if you're going to bang him around.
We that's just part of the game. Being physical is part of the game. They've taken that out. But LeBron, to me, I've always said, listen, LeBron to me is one of the 10 greatest players ever. And people says that I said LeBron was not one of the greatest ever. First of all, not even close to being true. What I said was, my top 5 is never going to change. Michael, Oscar, Kareem, Bill Russell, and Wilt. Nobody ever going to get in my top 5. And I said LeBron is right behind Kobe and Tim Duncan, in my opinion. If he win a couple more championships, maybe even one, I might put him in that category. But right now on my list, he's number 8. And like I say, if he wins a couple more championships, maybe even one, I might move him with Tim and Kobe. That's how great I think he is.
I think he's going to end up top 5. I think.
No, Dan. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard what you said.
I said nobody can get in my top 5.
I said I think he gets in the top 5.
In your top 5, I'm never going. Listen, my top 5 is never going to change. LeBron, the best he can get.
Why are we yelling?
You the one yelling, raising your voice at me.
You just
don't have me come to your show and raise your voice at me.
You just raised your voice at me.
I'm just letting you know.
Did you hear what I was just saying?
Do you hear the words coming out of my mouth?
I'm going to go Samuel L. Jackson on you here in a second.
So LeBron, as great as he is, nobody can get in my top 5. He can surpass Tim Duncan and Kobe he can get to 6.
All right. How would you guys have roughed up Steph Curry?
Yes. We would have beat him up.
What about Kevin Durant?
Yes.
Banged him around?
Yes.
Westbrook would have been interesting.
No, he wouldn't. That's a fight you're not looking for. That's a man.
Yes, he's a bad dude.
If you don't respect and admire Russell Westbrook, there's something wrong with you. And let me tell you something. I've been in this thing for 30 years. I've never seen a player give maximum effort every single night like him. And I'm played against the greats.
Wait, even Jordan?
Even Jordan didn't play as hard as Russell Westbrook does. And Michael's the greatest of all time. But this guy gives maximum effort every single play, every single night. And you got to respect that.
Well, he's one of the few guys I would pay to see play because I would think I'd get my money's worth no matter
question.
What, right?
Yes.
And he just never stops. But I also think Durant leaving gave him that competitive chip on the shoulder.
No, he played like that.
He's even bigger now.
I think he played like that the entire time. Maybe even and I hate Kevin left Oklahoma City, number one.
Now, does this put Russell Westbrook in a tough situation? You can't leave now. You can't go join a team that's got stars because of how we've been critical with Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
right.
And I don't think he's leaving Oklahoma City.
You don't think he'd try to go to the Lakers?
No, I think that he's made his bed. He's going to do the best he can, and he's going to live with the results. And that guy, Sam Presti, probably, other than my man in San Antonio, is probably the best GM in the NBA.
Oh, I just got a note from your bosses.
Who?
Well, I don't want to mention anybody's names. You can see all the games, March Madness, across TBS, CBS, TNT, and True TV for the 7th straight year with digital access via March Madness Live, available on 15 different platforms.
They are so...
No, hold on. I'm not done yet.
They always want them plugs in there.
Charles, I'm not done yet. Let me see here. I gotta get the whole promo here. Tonight's games. It'll be Oregon and Michigan, Gonzaga, West Virginia, Kansas and Purdue, and Arizona and Xavier.
Now, can we get back to having fun?
Yeah, we'll take a break here. Do you have a Jordan story you never told? Think about it.
Okay.
If you have one.
It's just another tease?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Right. We'll continue with Charles Barkley. He's just getting his radio thing down. That's a tease. We're back with a Jordan story he's never told before. We hope. We were just talking about the Indiana opening, Indiana Hoosiers, and Paulie brought up Billy Donovan and the rumor that maybe he would be interested in that job or they would be interested in Billy Donovan. If you're Billy Donovan and Indiana reached out to you, what would you do, Charles?
I think you got to listen. I think you have to listen because you're kind of in no man's land right now. You're not good enough to win the title.
You're still coaching in the NBA.
I understand that, but,
he's already done the college thing.
I understand that, but I'm saying, first of all, you have to factor in the back of your mind, like, if Russ leave,
oh, boy,
they won't even be a playoff team, more than likely.
Yeah.
So I think you have to weigh the pros and cons, but that's a very intriguing question.
How did they not win with Harden, Westbrook, and Durant?
Well, first of all, James Harden wasn't James Harden. He was never – the best thing that happened – first of all, I want to say James Harden, man, you get an MVP vote?
No, not since I don't cover the NBA.
Okay. Like, who would you vote for?
I think Harden's going to win it. But I think Westbrook is the most fascinating player in the game.
I'm glad I don't have a vote because I would not know who to vote for between Harden and Westbrook. I mean, what James Harden has done is probably the most impressive thing I've seen from a player who went from here to there.
Yeah.
Like, he is fantastic. And Mike D'Antoni is an offensive genius. And he just got James Harden is Steve Nash on steroids.
But how much credit does D'Antoni get for this style of offense that helped Nash win 2 MVPs and has really changed James Harden's game?
But you got to give both of them credit. Number one, Mike D'Antoni proved he can coach. But also, James Harden, remember, think about it. Just last year, James Harden never passes the ball.
That's true.
He is just a ball hog, and this year he's played fabulous.
And he doesn't play defense.
And I wasn't a great defender either. First of all, there's been a lot of great players who weren't great defenders.
That's why it drives me crazy when somebody says, this guy, if he goes, well, he can't guard anybody. And my thought was, Steve Nash couldn't guard anybody,
And
but who was guarding him?
Yes. You know, one of the guys who said something to me, the guy who drafted me to Philly, Jack, I forget Jack's last name. I apologize. It's been a long time. And I remember, God, I hate I forgot his name. His name was Jack. He found me down at Auburn. And he says, the guy's 6'5". He can't guard anybody. He says, they won't be able to guard him either. And Jack McMahon. Jack McMahon, God rest his soul, just a great person, found me. He said, Charles, they say you can't guard anybody. And I told him, they can't guard you either. So just guard just enough.
Bird couldn't guard anybody.
No. But he's one of the greatest ever.
Okay, in your prime, in their prime, Bird in his prime, LeBron right now, as a teammate, who do you want?
I think it'd be amazing to play with LeBron because, number one, he's a better defender, passes just as well, not a great shooter, but I would love to play with a guy like LeBron.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Bird's numbers and at his peak were better than LeBron's, I think,
as far
MVP
as what?
season. Points, rebounds, assists, and better shooter.
He's
at age 30, Bird's numbers were better than LeBron's at age 30.
Well, first of all, in fairness, Bird played with the greatest player I played against, Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish. And
Well, LeBron's got Kyrie and Kevin Love.
that ain't with McHale and Parrish.
No, it's not.
Okay.
But
And Bird, listen, you can't say anything bad about Bird. I mean, he's one of the greatest ever. But LeBron is just amazing to watch.
But Bird didn't talk trash to you,
Oh,
did he?
my God. Bird talked trash to everybody.
But didn't he? Did he get to a point where he had respect for you?
I always tell this story about Larry Bird. I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, Larry, what's going on with you? He says, you guys are being disrespectful to me. And I says, what are you talking about? He says, you guys are putting a white guy on me. That's disrespectful.
Wait, who's the white guy you put on him?
I can't remember who it was. I just started laughing. I had no comeback. When he says, it's disrespectful when y'all put a white guy on me. And I'm sitting there like, I'm laughing in the middle of a game. He says, and actually Michael has said the same thing to me before. Michael says, hey man, y'all being disrespectful. You pissing me off. And I said, dude, what are you talking about? He says, you got a white guy guard me. I says, Dan Marley's an all-star.
Oh, man.
He says, yeah, but he's a white all-star.
All right, give me the Jordan story I haven't heard, either on or off the court.
I don't have any crazy Michael stories. I love Michael like a brother. I miss him a lot. But he's always been there for me.
Are you stalling right now, or are you
No,
just
I'm trying to
figure
think.
out if you're going to? Every time we have Chris Webber on, Webber has another Michael Jordan story.
All our stories involve gambling. Because when we played on the Dream Team, me, Michael, Scotty, and Magic played cards every night, all night. I mean, we played cards every night, all night.
How much money?
Oh, it'd be $20,000, $30,000 on the table.
Did you have to pay up
Sometimes.
right then?
Yeah, you have to pay up. That's the best way to remain friends, pay debt.
Who lost the most?
I don't think it fluctuates. It fluctuated, but it was awesome. You know, it was really awesome. Just sitting around with those guys. Because the Dream Team, man, it was so amazing. And we didn't know how big it was till it was over. Yeah. And now, all these years later, it was just phenomenal to play with those guys.
You averaged the most on the Dream Team, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Did you consider yourself the best player on that team?
You know what's interesting about that, Dan? Chuck Daly said to me one time, he said, Charles, I want to talk to you after practice. I'm like, what I do now? And he says, I just want to tell you something. He says, I've been coaching the NBA a long time, and you're the second best basketball player I've seen. And I says, wait, there's somebody better than me? He says, Michael Jordan. I said, Michael Jordan just got help. But I tell people that's the greatest compliment I've ever gotten in my life. Because he says, I get a chance to watch
But
you.
he said that same thing to Bird, too, after practice.
No. Dan.
Are you better than Bird?
Am I better than Bird? Oh, man, that's a great question. I'm a better rebounder. I'm probably a better defender. He's a better shooter, obviously. You know, a lot of people talk about who's better.
But you have to think, you have to have that mentality.
No, you know. Like, if I think, you know, it's a team game. Like, Russell Westbrook probably, other than LeBron and Kawhi Leonard, he's probably the third best basketball player in the world. But he's not going to win a championship because he don't have enough help.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy is phenomenal. And there's going to be some guys who win championships who can't carry Russell's job.
Do you think you're better than LeBron?
No, I'm not better than LeBron.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not better than LeBron.
But you think you're better than Bird?
I think I do things better than him.
Yeah.
But if you give me Parrish and McHale and DJ, I'm going to be all right.
You better than Duncan?
No. Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward ever.
He had a lot of help.
He did, but he was dominant.
But what's he do better than you?
He's a better post-up player because it's easier for him to score. Like,
yeah, but you were a better scorer.
Only because I got the ball more. You got to understand something. There's guys. See, there's some guys who's we call them studio gangsters. They're on a bad team and average a lot of numbers. They're just the best player on a bad team and get the ball more.
Give me an example.
Oh, not doing that.
Oh, okay, my bad.
You know what's interesting? I'll give you this analogy. I was a much better player in Philadelphia than I was in Phoenix. But when you give me Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, Mark West, Sabalos, and those guys, I had more team success.
Yeah.
You know, but I was a much better player in Philadelphia than I was in Phoenix. I won MVP because I had Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson, Mark West, and those guys.
I didn't vote for you.
You should have.
No, I voted for Jordan.
And you should have voted for me the year they screwed me in Philadelphia when I lost to Magic Johnson in the closest vote ever. I got screwed that year because I got all the first place votes and no other votes.
You better than Magic Johnson?
No, I don't. No, I'm not better than Magic Johnson.
Okay.
Dan, I'll be straight with you.
No, but I appreciate that. You better than Isaiah?
That's hard right there because I think he's probably to me the most underrated little guy.
Did he ever fight with you?
No, he's always been great to me. He's fun to work with now, but he's probably the most underrated great player ever.
Okay.
He to me like when people talk about like John Stockton is great.
You better than Malone?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And he's a great player. But Isaiah Thomas, you know, you look at Iverson, Stockton, now Steph Curry. Isaiah's better than all those guys.
Isaiah's better than Steph?
Yes. And Steph is a great player now, but he's not better than Isaiah Thomas.
Who would you want as your point guard?
Isaiah Thomas.
In today's game?
Isaiah Thomas.
He might be even better in today's game.
He would be better.
Right?
Yeah, he would be much better today.
Yeah.
I mean, they made it. I mean, they might as well have flags out there, like flag football. You can't touch anybody, can't breathe on anybody.
Yeah, you know what? Bird couldn't take down Shaq. So, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Could you take down Shaq now?
Come on, man. You ever seen a guy fight?
Shaq?
Yeah, no. You ever seen him win a fight? Shaq can't fight a lick. I hit him in that big old gut. Because I can't reach his big old head. So I hit him in the gut, and that gut, and then it'll bring him down. And then when he come down, I clock him.
It's great to have you, man.
Oh, man, thank you for having me, man. Hey, listen.
Thank you. Next time, we're coming to your house in Arizona.
You come on. I tell you what.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do a show from your backyard.
I tell you what I'm gonna do, man. I really, number one, I tell you this all the time. I'm so happy for your success.
Thank you, man.
Because you're a good guy. You know, there's guys I root for, and you've been successful for a long time, even going back to the mothership, and you continue successful. And I'm happy for you. Your guys are terrific. And you know what we should do for ratings?
No.
I see you got all these TVs on.
Yeah.
Like, if I get a disease and I'm going to die, how about I get Skip Bayless in here and I kill him live on national television?
I like it.
Yeah.
I like pay-per-view.
Yeah. No, just get him in here.
Okay.
Because, and then, and only when I know I'm going to die.
Fritzy, can we set this up?
Yeah.
I don't see why not.
But just let us know in
Because
advance.
I just want to get Skip Bayless in a room one time and just beat him like a dog.